Spoiler alert! Today I'm going to tell you the story about an extraordinary happenings that causes the country girl to exchange body with a boy who lives in Tokyo. Mitsuha Miyamizu is a high school girl living in the town of Hidamora in the Yahida region. She is bored with small town life and wishes to be a handsome Tokyo boy in her next life. She begins to switch bodies intermittently with Taki Tachibana, who is a high school boy in Tokyo. When they wake up, they started communicating by writing messages on paper, phones, and sometimes on each other's hands. Mitsuha causes Taki to develop a relationship with his coworker Mikey. On the other hand, Taki causes Mitsuha to become popular in school. Next day, Taki switched to Mitsuha's body and accompanied her grandmother and sister to leave the ritual alcohol that Kuka Kamikaze made by Mitsuha as an offering at the family shrine on mountaintop outside the town. It is believed to represent the body of the village guardian, god ruling human experiences and connection. Mitsuha's latest note tells Taki about the comet Tiamat expected to pass the Earth on the day of her town festival. The next day, Taki wakes up in his original body after an unsuccessful date with Mikey. As he tries to call Mitsuha, he cannot reach her and the body keeps switching insurgently. He decided to meet her directly, but sadly he does not know the name of the town. He has to rely on his memories to remember the scenery so he could look for the place. A restaurant owner in Hita recognizes Itamura from Taki's sketch and tells him that the comet unexpectedly split into pieces. The larger piece kept moving, but the smaller one crashed into Earth's surface and destroyed the town. Looking at the side of the crater, he is in disbelief that Mitsuha died this whole time. As he pulls out his phone, her messages on his phone disappear, and his memory starts fading away. Taki finds Mitsuha's name in the record of fatalities and discovered that the date of the disaster and their timelines were separated by 3 years. Taki goes to the shrine to drink Mitsuha's sake from the grotto, hoping to reconnect with her body and warn her about the comet strike. Through a vision, Taki discovers that a girl he met on the train was Mitsuha, not knowing they were separated for 3 years. She insisted that she met his past self while trying to meet with him personally. He wakes up in her body the next morning at her house. Mitsuha's grandmother concluded what was going on and tells him that the body switching is actually part of their family history and caretakers of the shrine. Taki convinces Tessie and Sayaka, who are the 2 closest friends of Mitsuha's, to make everyone evacuate the town by disabling the electrical substation and broadcasting a false emergency alert. Realizing that Mitsuha is in his body at the shrine, Taki goes back to find her. Suddenly, Mitsuha wakes up in Taki's body at the shrine. When Taki reaches at the top of the mountain during the sunset, the 2 sense each other's presence, but are separated by 3 years. But when the twilight falls, they return to their own bodies and meet up. They decided to write their names on each hand so they will remember each other. As soon as the twilight passes, Mitsuha disappeared before she could even write her name on Taki's hand. The evacuation plans failed and Mitsuha is determined to convince her father to evacuate the town. Mitsuha notices her memories about Taki are starting to fade away and discovered he wrote "I love you" on her hand instead of his name. Despite the evacuation, the small comet piece crashes to Earth's surface and destroys the town. Taki wakes up in his own timeline and remembered nothing at all. 5 years later, Taki graduated from university and searches for a job. He felt like he lost something important within himself and feels drawn to the disaster. He discovered that the inhabitants of the town survived the natural disaster by following the mayor's order. One day, Taki and Mitsuha saw each other when the train passed each other while they were waiting. Hence, they're compelled to disembark and search for one another. As few minutes pass by, finally meeting on the stairs of the shrine, they initially walk past each other as they're both shocked. But suddenly, Taki turned around and asked if they had met before. Mitsuha replied that she was feeling the same way. The connection reestablished as they shed tears of happiness and simultaneously asked for each other's name.